Hello there, I'm another Magento dev. In this video, we're going to be looking at layout XML. In Magento, we're going to be looking at something that, for me, brings up the debate of, for a developer, or at least the decision, it's not really a debate if it's going on in your own head, the decision making of when to use a module and when to just use a theme. And I think when we're talking about layout XML and editing things and blocks and within layout XML, that decision always comes up. Do I do this in a module, or do I just sort of slap it in my theme? So I'm going to show you both things. Now, there's something quite specific I'm going to do. So there's no logout button in the account, right? So I'm going to add a new a logout button to this section of the account here. Obviously, I'm just choosing a logout button to add something there, but you might want to add there might be any number of reasons you want to add new links to this account, but it does actually then that little piece of functionality there is done within a layout XML, so it does highlight this sort of question quite well. So if I just jump into my demo sort of store here. Right, so there's a couple of ways you can do this, right? If you want to do it really fast and sort of just get the job done, you can whack anything in this default XML which lives in your Magento theme layout folder. You know, we edit header blocks in there, we edit all sorts of global functionality in there, and you can just basically throw the code in there if you wanted to. And I've already sort of grabbed this from the Magento core. I'll just show you where it is. So essentially, I knew it was customer account navigation, and I'll just really quickly show you, like in vendor, customer account navigation essentially lives in the customer account XML here, I believe. That's the module. That's the module one. Let's have a look. Module customer. It should be along here somewhere. Module customer, that one. So it's essentially this here, where this is essentially the part that adds all of your links to your navigation. So if we want to utilize this block, we've got to extend it by using reference block, which is what I've done in here. And as I say, you can just slap that in there, quick and dirty. Obviously, you can change the order. You've got a few little. Obviously, you can add parameters to it. There's these arguments, which are the basic sort of three to add a new link to your account navigation. But yeah, so there it is. And once you save that, I might just have to flush my cache. I can do that with yarn flush on this site, and then for refresh, there we go. I've got my logout button in there now. So that's one way you can do it. But like I was saying, like, you could put this in a module, and the debate in your mind rages on, like, should I just keep it in my default XML? Then I use this default XML on every theme that I do. But your theme is very bespoke. For me, this is why I don't compile CSS hardly ever in my modules. For me, modules are structural and functional. Themes are design based and brand based. So my themes for X business and Y business are completely different. Even though they're based maybe on Luma or Blank, they're completely different. Modules, like, is there a mega menu present? That can be the same on both. Then the way that mega menu looks is up to the theme for me. So I keep all my styles in a theme. So for something like this, when we're talking about layout, there's no styles involved. It's just adding some extra functionality or adding something structural into your Magento. So I wouldn't include this. So the rule goes the other way around. I won't include something that's just functionality really in a theme. I'd like to put that in a module, because for the customer account, like, the first request is, can we add a log out button? But the next thing might be, can we do something with the orders grid? Can we do something with the way the address is working? So eventually you're building up, again, not brand-led functionality and the way things look, but functionality within the account, like that is structural and and stuff, and hard working stuff that Magento needs to do rather than the way it needs to look. And for that purpose, if that's what I come to in my mind and I think, right, well, you know, what I would have is I would have a module that I utilize for that brand, you know, that I'm working with. So I'd have, like, obviously there might be other modules in here. Obviously, if you're doing things right and everything's through Composer, then I would keep my module, which I've just called this one Adam, and I know I've got something in there for an order field. I would keep all my modules within my Adam folder, which is my vendor. That would obviously, as I say, would be the merchant's name. And then I would add all my functionality. I might want to edit the product, the catalog, all its sales, all these different areas. So what I would do in this situation, even though it's a really minor change, but you're always starting with a minor change and things snowball. So in here, and this is where you would be saying, well, I've got to create a module just to add a layout. Well, yeah, it's long-winded. Well, it's more long-winded than just banging it in there, but you're sort of building your store in the direction that you're going to make things more modular, that need to be modular. Like I said, if you build that package, or I've got my package called Adam there, I could use that package with editing. I can see it's got another extension in there, order field, any other customizations I make on one site, which I find really good, I can just literally install it on another site, and I know that it's not going to have any effect to the style of the site. Like, for example, if that logout button that is there pops up on any of my sites, then I know I'm not going to have a problem with the style, because even if I change the style of this section, that's going to be in the theme, not in a module. So I can pick and I can just load that on. That's going to be no bother. And it just helps compartmentalize those things, but it has to be done. You have to set yourself some rules, basically, and some boundaries. And I would say, if I'm only editing layout, I wouldn't do that in a theme. If I'm only editing styles, I wouldn't do that in a module. And then the things in between, I can sort of make decisions on the fly. But yeah, what makes this easier though is an extension that I always bang on about, and it's the Magento Wizard extension. It's this one. Get this for VS Code. Where is it? Magento Wizard. There, this one. Vitali Peritier, that one. Automated repeat. Yeah. So it's really good. So I've if you haven't seen any tutorials before, and you know this is the first one you've watched, then I use this a lot. And the way I would do this then, so it would then be quite quick. Obviously, I'm talking about this, so it's laboured. So one option, bang the code in there, innit? That's one option. Obviously, we've just seen that. Now, if I want to create an extension that I'm going to then maybe add more functionality to, I do Command Control or Command Shift and P, Control Shift and P if you're on a non-Mac, I suppose. And then I've got this shortcut at the top here, Magento Wizard, create an extension. I click on that, and it's saying, what do I want? What's my vendor? And I've just said mine's called Adam, but this could be anything. Adam, and then in there I'd do something like customer. And I've talked about these naming conventions before. I have a check out of some other tutorials. I've got ones on module development. And then what has it done by doing that? Well, it's just created me my extension boilerplate, so I don't have to faff about doing all this. And now all I need to do is just find my folder structure. So if I'm just editing a layout, it's dead simple. I'll do view front end, because I'm editing something on the front end. Obviously the other scope's admin HTML, and then layout. And remember, it's layout and not layouts. And then within that folder, I would add. Now this is where it's, you've got to know this, right? And this is what I'm going to come on to. So remember, before I just banged that in the default in my theme. Well, this is this slight bit more work you're going to have to do. Is you're going to have to go into your vendor folder, and as I say, I already was looking for account navigation, module customer, and then you just basically need to find out what, to be honest, I could use default XML, but I won't, because that's not good practice. Find out what XML file you need to be editing, really, and it's customer account XML. You can sort of see it there. So then, and the reason I wouldn't just bang it all in default is because, as I said, you might want to edit more functionality for different places in the customer, in the customer account area. So let's obey at least the naming conventions of files. Account underscore customer, was it? Why is my memory so short and shot to pieces? Customer underscore account it is. Customer underscore account. And then that's another great thing about this wizard. I've showed you before, it bangs in a bit of boilerplate code, so just want to get rid of that. And then I'll tell you what, I'll just copy it from come here you. Right, we'll get rid of that. Oops. Get rid of that again. Save that. Right, and then I can just bang this in here, reference container, and we'll just see what this does. So if I just flush cache again, and then okay, it's not showing. It's not showing. It's not showing because Magento doesn't know about my extension yet. So I need to run the big four. Once I've run the big four, obviously it's enabled my extension, and then log out will appear on the customer account. Now I'm not sure the big four. I've just thought this site, because I was doing something earlier, is sat in production mode, so I think it's not going to work on static content deploy ain't going to work, but we'll just let it run up to that point because I still need it to basically set up upgrade. Setup upgrade is the important one, and it'll set up upgrade's the one that's going to enable my extension. I know I go through this a lot on my channel, and I go through this process quite a lot in all of my videos for all different reasons, and we end up sitting watching setup upgrade run, but I just find it useful to constantly repeat things. It might just be the way I learn is just constant repetition, and I learn by doing. And if you're watching YouTube videos, you might also be a sort of learn by do type of person. So hopefully this is helpful when I talk through these processes over and over again. But yeah, this is it really. This is the debate between how much you put in theme, or more importantly what you put in your theme versus what you put in your extensions. And obviously I've just mentioned like what my rule is. You could make up your own rules really. And we'll just let this run through because I want to just show you it working through the module. I know it seems to be working. The reason I thought it wasn't going to work is in production mode I'm almost certain I do have the force flag on on my command. You know, when I run B4 I have like setup upgrade, DI compile, and the force flag on deploy, but and I didn't think that worked on production mode. I could be wrong, but anyway, run the big four is the message. I know I've talked a load of bollocks there, but or possibly talked a load of bollocks, but that's nothing new. And once this runs through, we should see that. Well, you can check this. So once you've run setup upgrade, if you go into there, you should see, there you go, your new extension essentially. The new extension, that was one that already existed, and it's just turned it on and got it sort of working. So yeah, so as soon as this finishes we'll do a refresh. Nearly there. There we go. Oh, yeah. There we go. Does its job. So yeah, I hope that was useful for you. If you like this type of content, please comment you know, on this video, like this video. It really helps it get into YouTube, it get and the algorithm pick it up, and also, you know, subscribe to my channel because I'm full of this type of shit, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. So I'll see you in the next one.